1, 2, 3, 4. Mike and John got it going on. Mike and John got it going on.
Nobody cleaned the place while we were gone, did they? Oh, hey, it's Mike and John Got It Going On with Mike Marino and John King. We are back here at the Remax Platinum offices, courtesy of our friend Jordan Genso. Got a lot to do today.
Yeah, and of course, we appreciate being able to, locate here at Remax Platinum, and they're hosting us.
I guess we're in charge of cleaning our own
dealing with us,
stuff.
Putting up with us.
Well, it's more you than me.
Well, it's more.
That's what they said when I walked in. Yeah. It's more John than you.
That's funny because they told me the same thing about you when I walked in.
You were talking to the wrong people.
Oh, I see. I think I like the people I talk to.
Of course you do. Great stuff to come today. We'll take a look at last night's TNT, our Thursday night trivia question. I think a few people might have got it right. We'll get to that. Also, Rich Perlberg joining us for The Less You Know.
Miggy's Swan song.
Why do they call it a swan song?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Does the swan really sing?
I don't know. And why is that, equal, like, the end?
The last hurrah.
It's kind of like the fat ladies, it's not over till the fat lady sings.
We can't call her that anymore. She's big boned.
So swan sounds better, I guess.
I guess so. So we'll get into that. JD joining us for Tossback Trivia. And we'll get to our 2-cent history lesson for this week.
Right. We'll also be talking about Cultura, an event coming to Downtown Howell tomorrow, Saturday, October 7th.
It's not just a car made by a different car company. Cultura.
Cultura. It does sound. It could
fine Corinthian leather in your Cultura.
Okay.
Maybe it's the new electric version of the Cordoba. No, it's totally different than that, isn't it?
I would think it is.
All right.
So,
and we have a couple guests today, too, don't we?
Yeah, well, one of them is
from Cultura.
Right, Nicole Matthews-Creech from the Diversity Council, and we'll also be talking with local Brighton resident and Navy veteran Rob Smith here in just a couple minutes, talking about Team Rewind and what that's all about.
You know how Rewind sounds, right?
I don't remember. It's been a long time since I had to rewind
in the cassette deck.
Yeah.
But it's different than that.
And the whole concept of Be Kind, Rewind.
Yeah.
I mean, my kids don't even.
Back too.
Exactly.
If you said that, they'd be, "What are you talking about?"
Rewind. What do you mean? I don't understand.
It's a word of the past, but it has a good thing with Team Rewind. We're going to find out more about that. But first, let's take a look at local news. See what's been happening this week here in Livingston County.
All right. Yeah, lots of different stories. Of course, one story that got a lot of attention was the proposed Health Advisory Committee. County Commissioner Wes Nakagiri proposing this advisory committee that would be made up of various individuals who would basically be proponents of the medical freedom movement. So this is largely people that are, against vaccines and more into, say, herbalist medicine and natural medicine and things like that. And they would be this advisory committee that would then, quote unquote, advise the Livingston County Health Department. There was a lot of pushback to this. And in fact, surprisingly, it's an all-Republican board. Several other Republicans themselves said they did not really see that this was necessary. And then this just happened at a committee meeting. It's probably going to come before the full board.
Well, and even if they had experts, if this did come to fruition, they have experts, why not a little bit of both and have more information from both sides, to make it where the council could decide.
I think the question is, when you say both sides, when you talk about
science, herbal, because there are some good things to herbal medicine or herbal remedies, those types of things, but there's also the medical community as well.
Right, and I think, but from a public health perspective, I think the question is that you do want qualified individuals in public health, especially when you're talking about issues about vaccines, because honestly, a lot of this does revolve around the issue of vaccines, that you do want medical professionals, you do want people that have a scientific basis to be making these types of decisions. This advisory committee would be something that, a lot of folks see would its real purpose is, and this is what a lot of the opponents of it would say, its real purpose is to in fact sort of interfere with the health department and its role. So we'll see where that goes. It was talked about. It did pass this initial committee phase, and it'll go before the full board of commissioners, and we'll follow that, of course. Another big story was about a former Heartland hockey player who was booted from the Wolverines hockey team after defacing campus Jewish Resource Center, the U of M campus Jewish Resource Center. And in this particular issue, there had been a social media post by a group called StopAntisemitism.org in which they had alleged that this hockey player had spray painted swastikas on the Jewish Resource Center. That turns out to not be true. Now, the hockey player himself, he did deface the Jewish Resource Center, and he was removed from the Wolverines team for a violation of team rules.
It was just the paintings were different, or the spray paintings were different.
Well, he used it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. He used a homophobic slur, and he painted a lewd, spray painted a lewd picture. And so, that information coming out, there has been a lot of back and forth. If you look at our story on Facebook, a lot of back and forth there from folks, basically trying to say this speaks ill of the Heartland community. A lot of people stepping up and defending it, saying, hey, not trying to defend this kid's actions, but you can't tag an entire community, by one person. And so that sort of debate goes back and forth. That was a pretty big story. And then on a more positive note, Heartland teacher, by the way, won the Michigan Lottery's Excellence in Education Award. And that got quite a lot of interest from folks who, were very happy about that. And this particular teacher was somebody who, and I think the lottery gives them basically $2,000, and they can use that for sort of in-class things and whatever they want. And they really said this particular individual was somebody who had challenged students and was well-liked by everybody. And that really got probably more overwhelming response than anything else in the past week. And so that was more on the lighter side, the more positive side.
Well, and it is good to see, those types of stories. And I think all of us have had at least one teacher throughout our learning years, whether it be high school, middle school, or elementary school. There's always that one teacher that comes to mind that helped change and develop you a little bit more, and you appreciated the efforts they put towards
Who's the one teacher that you can think of?
There's actually quite a few,
right.
and it'll sound weird, but my journalism teacher.
That is weird.
It really is, because I didn't really go into journalism per se, but learning how to put together a story or a column, those kind of things, even though I didn't do it that well, it was very inspiring. and she liked me and would let me get away.
Well, give her a name check.
And she used to work here in Livingston County, as a matter of fact. Janet Mendler, she's since passed away, but got to meet with her a long time ago, about 10 years ago, and there's a lot of people that went on to great writing and broadcast careers that she had a part of. So she was a part of the journalism scholarship program here in Livingston County.
For me, it was Mr. Schmidl, who was my 5th grade teacher.
See, that sounds like a character on The Simpsons.
It kind of does.
Schmidl.
You're right. Great guy, a lot of fun. He was somebody who didn't talk down to kids. He actually listened to you and really interacted with us as 5th graders, but in a way that was very educational, and we appreciated it. He was also a reserve Oakland County Sheriff's deputy. And one time this is the 70s because you couldn't do this now, he took the entire class to the gun range.
I don't think, in certain school districts you might be able to do that.
Maybe.
And 5th grade, though?
Yeah. So here we are, a bunch of 5th graders all crowded into this gun range, and he, shot at the targets as, the sort of the targets that flipped around and stuff like that, and he, unloaded his pistol into it. And
I want Mr. Schmidl's class.
Here's the thing. Again, the 70s, and you couldn't do it now. He actually brought that target back to class, and he put it up on the bulletin board, and then underneath it said, "Oh, you didn't do your homework, huh?"
No, I really don't think that would fly today.
That would not fly. It was a different time.
It sure was.
Just saying, we took it the right way. So Mr. Schmidl.
All right,
throw him the shout out. We also have to throw a shout out to Austin Lee.
Yes, from Orb Solutions. Austin has been our web designer and creator, caretaker, and everything else that has to do with our website, mikeandjohnpodcast.com. If you are starting up a business or maybe want to reinvent your website, Orb Solutions, the ones to look for and ask for Austin.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just dealt with Austin over the last couple days because there was a TikTok issue.
Not a TikTok.
There was a TikTok
Do we have a
issue,
TikTok account?
Yeah, we do.
Oh,
believe it or
okay.
not. Yeah.
See, these youngsters, these hipsters know about our TikTok account.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
And so there was some message that kept popping up, and it said the TikTok plugin is not
It's
correct.
not that TikTok adult site, is it?
No.
The adult TikTok?
No. That's TokTok. Yes. So Austin Lee, Orb Solutions, he was right on top of it, fixed it in a second, and great guy. And we appreciate all the work that he does for us.
Speaking of great guys, that leads us to our first guest, John. We mentioned Team Rewind at the top of the podcast, and our guest, Rob Smith, is from Team Rewind. Welcome, Rob.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you having here. You're a Brighton resident, Navy veteran, and
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, appreciate that. So tell us about Team Rewind. How did you get involved in this?
I had some issues with my A1C, and I really needed to get it in check. I did some on my own, but
And A1C for folks, maybe explain if you can a little bit just what that
it's your 90 days of blood sugar count. It needs to be a certain percentage, and mine was not where it needed to be.
Right.
So all having to do with type 2 diabetes?
Yes.
Yeah. And what led you to where you're at today?
Well, I watched my mom over the last 3 years with issues from her health from type 2 diabetes. Started with losing a toe, then losing both of her legs in 2020, just below the knee, and
largely because the diabetes has such a devastating effect on your circulation.
Yes.
And that's why.
she had no circulation below her knees on both legs.
So how does Team Rewind fit into all of this?
I was actually watching Instagram, and I saw Desmond Howard on there. And
Wow, you're a hipster too.
yeah,
On Instagram.
Maybe I should have called you to fix our TikTok account.
I don't know anything about TikTok, nor do I want to know.
So you're watching Instagram, and what happens
A
then?
video of Desmond Howard showed up and talked about Rewind, and I started doing more research and found that they were associated with the U of M health system, which my primary care physician was already a U of M doctor.
Part of that, yeah.
And so that kind of said, well, this could be a connection for me that my primary care physician would see what I'm doing.
Yeah. Actually, that video, I mean, we have a video here. It's very short. It's about 45 seconds. That kind of gives people, I think, a little bit of a view of Team Rewind. So let's take a look at that right now.
So you have to have confidence in yourself. You have to see yourself doing something extraordinary, even when you're at your lowest point.
Our mantra is progress, not perfection.
I feel like I'm in the Olympics.
So, if I'm not mistaken, you're in that video, are you not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see you. People are lining up to get sort of a medal for
Metal, yep. You get one for 5% of your body weight loss, 10, 15, and then I got one for defeating type 2 diabetes, which means
Right.
mine's in remission.
That's an amazing thing, I think. And obviously, that's the whole notion of Team Rewind, that you can rewind this.
Can I take this back a little bit to rewind? So when you saw your mother go through this and lose the legs, and you said you have to make a change, were you already type 2? Were you at that stage, or were you trying to be more preventative?
I was at the pre-diabetes stage in like 2019, and I made some adjustments, but I didn't stick with them.
Yeah.
And then when my mom started going through these issues, I got my sugar rechecked, wasn't where it needed to be, and I'm like, well, I need to make some changes.
So in doing that, did you go right to the medications that are out there, and
I did
you see
not.
the ads on TV? What did you do?
I
It was just
changed
diet?
my diet,
Yeah.
and then I got down to a certain number, but I felt I needed someone to be accountable to, and that's why I joined Rewind.
All right. So take us a little bit through the steps of like day one at Rewind and how that worked for you? If somebody's hearing this podcast or seeing this right now, and they go, maybe I need to do that, what should they expect?
Well, I met with the dietitian on the phone, and started out with a consultation, checked out what my BMI was, my body mass index,
Right.
To see if I was a candidate. And then, being that they were associated with U of M, they knew what my A1C numbers are,
Right.
and I was a candidate. So then I had to meet with the doctor that was associated with the program, and I meet with them every 90 days right now, but I was a candidate. I started, and then I got started on this meal replacement for 12 weeks.
So what did that look like in terms of like how your diet was before and then how that?
Yeah, where you thought you might have been doing good.
Yeah.
Well, I actually was doing good,
You were
but I
good.
needed to go further.
Right, okay.
And the first 4 weeks of the 12 weeks was 800 calories a day worth of shakes,
Yeah,
soups, or chocolate, vanilla, strawberry shakes that you mix with water.
And those are protein shakes, obviously, right,
Yep.
to give you the protein that you need, but with the limited number of calories.
Yes.
Yeah.
And after that first initial 4 weeks, the rest of the 12 weeks, I was introduced to 2 cups of non-starchy veggies a day. That completed the 12 weeks.
all right, so just for those that don't know what non-starchy vegetables are.
Green beans, you don't eat corn because that's a sugary.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
That'll turn the sugar right in your
Yes.
system, right? And you don't think of that when you're eating corn,
Yeah.
right?
No beans until after the 12 weeks, but, stuff like green vegetables, salads,
Yeah, the greener the better, they
Yes.
say, right? Yeah. Okay, and how are things going for you now?
really good. My numbers are where they need to be, and honestly, proudly to say my cholesterol is the best it's ever been.
Yeah.
And I got off of my CPAP because my sleep apnea went away from losing 30 pounds.
Yeah, that'll do it. And obviously, right, and it's interesting you bring that up because I think we talked about the sort of the direct result of diabetes, like with your mom and losing, circulation and things like that. But there's also these sort of secondary things that come with, an improvement in lifestyle. Like you said, sleep apnea is one of those things that, will improve. And that also has a great, positive effect on your health.
Yes.
Especially if you're sleeping through the night and you're lighter, you can you have more mobility, correct? Yeah.
Yes.
Less joint pain, probably.
Less joint pain, and I'm able to do stuff without, overexerting myself.
Sure. You're getting back into shape. So
Yes.
So how do folks find out more about Rewind and Team Rewind? What's the best way to go about that?
Honestly, if you look right on Instagram or Facebook, there's a Team Rewind page.
Right.
They'll
And-
give you a contact.
And there's a website. They just go joinrewind.com,
Yep.
and that will. But if you just, like you said, go to Facebook and search it out, you'll find what you need. And then, you had a chance. We showed that video. I had Desmond Howard in it. You had an opportunity, to meet him and be a part of that ceremony. I think we have a picture here of him putting the medal on you there. It probably makes, I would imagine having someone like Desmond Howard, be a part of this, that helps to sort of give it the public face.
Yes.
To get people to pay
There's
attention.
several athletes that are involved from U of M, and
Do you know what Desmond's tie is to, not just U of M,
he's
obviously.
an ambassador to the program.
Right.
That particular day was cool because he gave a kind of pep talk
Yeah.
about when he was with Green Bay and was almost cut, and that was really motivating.
Yeah, very cool. And actually, in that video we saw earlier, saw former colleague of mine, Art Regner, who does a lot of Red Wing stuff. He was in there, and I saw he was part of the Team Rewind too. So that was kind of.
I got to chat with him.
Yeah.
He's lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, I can see that,
very
yeah.
quickly too. So, which was cool to
Yeah.
hear his story.
So yeah, very cool, and we appreciate you sharing your story with us. Again, Rob Smith, Brighton resident, Navy veteran, and member of Team Rewind. If you want to know more, go to joinrewind.com.
All right, Rob, thanks for
Yeah,
joining us this
thank you
morning.
so
We appreciate
much.
it. Thanks for sharing the story and for spreading the word about Rewind.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I hope people are motivated because it's made a success for me to be able to defeat type 2 diabetes.
Very good.
Yeah, I mean, and ultimately, I mean, what a great success story that a devastating disease like that, you can turn this around just through some lifestyle changes.
Yes.
And Team Rewind is a great place to make sure that happens. So great, congratulations, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, last night in TNT, Thursday Night Trivia, of course, brought to you by our OG sponsors, Firehouse Doors. They've been serving Livingston County for over 25 years with unparalleled service and products. And the question read as such: 3 out of 10 people say they've used this as a way to start talking to a potential date. So somewhat of a pickup method, and it worked 84% of the time. So it's a pretty good method to use. Let's check out some of the answers. Now, this doesn't have to be just men, because some of the answers that popped up seem to be more of targeted toward the guy hitting on the potential female date, like buy her a drink, tell her a joke, offering assistance.
Well, be a gentleman.
We can't have that.
Well, unfortunately, for a lot of women, I'll tell you, we don't have that.
Asking them to dance. Giving them a compliment.
Back to the asking them to dance. Again, it's a lot in the how. So.
Well, I suppose. Well, that takes courage. I don't know if a lot of people think about that, but if you're going up to somebody for the first time and you're asking them to dance, that's you're prepping yourself for being shot down.
Right. You would know. All right.
Thank you. Yes, I would.
I, of course, am a great dancer.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Would you like to demonstrate for us? Come on.
Yeah, no,
Stand up.
I don't want to embarrass anybody. That's okay.
We won't be embarrassed.
Especially myself.
I don't think so. No, go ahead.
I'm really the person I don't want to embarrass. So.
This I thought was a great answer. A smile. That was from Cassandra.
Sure.
If you can, because some people say, I really like that smile. You don't have, you just do it. Ask for advice. Ask for advice. A way to approach a potential date. A few people did get the correct answer. And it was their dog.
Hey.
Using their dog
right.
as the starting point. It doesn't say cats or iguanas or any other type of pet, but the dog. Like a guy and his best friend, or if a woman is walking her dog. Gives you that conversation starter point.
Right. Now, if your dog gets in a fight with their dog, that's not good.
Well, if you break it up and become the hero.
Oh.
And then get rid of the dog.
Now, what if you've trained your dog to get in a fight, so you can break it up and be the hero?
Oh, there you go.
That's probably not good.
That's probably not.
I would not recommend that.
I don't think so. All right. So thanks to everybody that answered last night. We'll have another question Sunday night in SNT, and this coming week we will have a prize night.
Oh, okay, good.
We haven't done that in a while,
right.
but we'll do that this week sometime, I promise.
All right, so take a look for that coming up. Also coming up, an event called Cultura that is coming to Downtown Howell tomorrow. This is Saturday, October 7th. So this is an event that I think is going to provide some unique entertainment and some flavors and sounds, I think, that for folks. And so we want to find out more about that. And so we have asked the right person to come and join us, Nicole Matthews-Creech, Executive Director of the Livingston Diversity Council. Welcome.
Well, thank you so much for having me,
Hi,
Jen and
Nicole.
Mike. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you as well. Now, I've seen a few things on social media about Cultura, and mostly here in Livingston County, but there's been some other events called Cultura. Is it all one thing, but just at different locations, or is this unique to Livingston County?
Nope, this event was just something that was the kind of beautiful brainchild of the Livingston Diversity Council and the Livingston Arts Council. And we're super excited to be able to bring this to our community.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more the Cultura, because like Mike was saying, I mean, if you Google it, you'll find there are similar type events. I think it's a concept, I guess, in that sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and the reason we came up with, or we decided on the name Cultura, was that Cultura means culture in 38 different languages, kind of across the globe. So it really, we hope it to represent a lot of different cultures, different ethnicities, different celebrations, traditions, things like that.
So tell us about some of the things we're going to see tomorrow.
Oh, so I'm super excited, and everybody keeps asking me what I'm most looking forward to, and I can't pick.
Can't nail it down?
We're starting at 12 p.m. We end at 11 p.m. and we have 19 different performances.
Right.
So some on the indoor stage, some on the outdoor stage. Indoor stage, you'll find more culturally significant performances. The Bollywood dancers, Polynesian dancers, taiko drumming, which is Japanese. A woman, Zhao Dongwei, who plays the eru, which is a 2-string violin. On the outdoor stage, we'll see more of your traditional band kind of things. We have a mariachi band. We have hip hop. We have indie fusion, pop alternative, and street dancing, break dancing, which
there
I'm
you are.
super
You should have
excited
done
about.
That's
in the
what I'm
80s.
saving myself for.
Right?
I
Got a
will,
cardboard
I'm
box
sure
from 85.
that they'll call me up on stage to, I'll
Throw it down.
politely decline.
You don't want to show the moves?
No, it's not my day.
They're
So
It's just called a flop, really. It's a,
pretty much what
and then
it'll be.
spin.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a full day of great music and food. There's gonna be food trucks.
I was just going to say, what about the food?
Yeah,
It's,
we have food trucks, and we're so excited to bring in some of our favorites locally into Livingston County. Tamale Rose will be there, Simply Spanish, who and Comfort Cuisine, which some people are familiar with. So we have Lebanese, Spanish, and Mexican, West Coast Mexican, and we're bringing in a new food truck to the Howell area this time. It's called Reggae Foodie, and they are from the Lansing area, and it's Jamaican food.
Nice.
It is Jamaican food on the go is what it's called. So
food on the go.
very excited about that.
They'll be Jamaican it all day on Saturday.
They will be. Wow.
Thank you. Thank you. So,
Really?
yeah.
Really?
I came back after 3 or 4 weeks for that.
He did it. He did it. Yeah. The other thing that's kind of the unsung heroes of our event that I'm excited about is visual art. So folks will be able to come inside the Opera House and see visual artists around the perimeter of the Opera House. Some local artists, as well as some folks from, again, across the state of Michigan. So, and also, it is going to be a little chilly tomorrow, but the tent will have sidewalls,
All right.
and we've just secured some
Got
heaters.
some heaters, I was going to say.
So don't worry about the fact that you're going to be cold. It's going to be super fun, and you're going to be dancing and moving, so no worries there.
Is there going to be any beer at this celebration? Because you think of the different cultures.
Not only will there be beer, but there's going to be whiskeys of the world.
Whiskeys of the world. So the Opera House has hosted events before called Tastings of the Opera House, and so they're doing a special edition, a Cultura edition of Tastings at the Opera House. Whiskeys of the world will feature different whiskeys from different countries, and they'll be paired with food from those regions as well. So a little education along the way. That is a special ticketed event that's happening Saturday night, 7 to 9, and folks can purchase tickets online now at the Cultura website.
And throw out that address, the website.
Yep,
address.
absolutely. The website address is culturacelebration.com. That goes back to our first conversation about there are other Culturas. So
Right.
culturacelebration.com, right on the front page of our website is a link to that ticket event. Tickets are $60, again, for whiskeys and food pairings. 7 to 9 tickets can be purchased tomorrow if they're still available.
Have you sampled any of those whiskeys?
I have not. I'm not a big fan of whiskey.
I'm not a whiskey drinker either, but I know there are some that, they go to Kentucky and try the different made just for you versions.
I just came home from Scotland.
And did you have Scottish whiskey?
No.
No?
But I was there.
Yeah, and they had whiskey there. It was the whiskey of the world.
You just have to throw that in there.
I did.
Yeah.
But you're right, though, for folks that are really into the whiskey tastings, that's going to be an event that they're going to want to be a part of.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, really, I could skip the whiskey and just go with the food pairings.
That's true too.
And
so this is a joint effort between the Livingston Diversity Council and the Arts Council.
Yeah.
What's the sort of the overall thing that you're trying to that you hope will be achieved with the day, other than everybody having a great time?
Right.
That's certainly something that will be achieved, I think, with the great lineup and everything else. What's sort of the underlying hope here of what this event can do?
Absolutely, great question. So it's complex and layered, right? Good job. Complex and layered, but I would say there's kind of two goals in mind that we have that kind of rise to the top here. The first goal being that we do want to provide an opportunity for our Livingston County community to experience things that we don't normally get to experience here. the great thing about Livingston is you can run to Ann Arbor or Lansing, Detroit pretty quickly, but you don't have to, right? Why can't we bring those folks in? And have some opportunities here with our families. Two is really to bring folks from outside of the community into Livingston County community. We do have a history in Livingston County, a pretty sordid history, a history that makes folks of color uncomfortable, that makes other marginalized populations skeptical about coming into the community, and there's been amazing changes happening in our community, and we want folks to see that. And the only way that we can change folks' perceptions about us as a community is for us to invite them in and show them how much we've changed and what we're doing to work on those kinds of things. We want them to know that we are a welcoming community. So.
All right. So, again, Cultura, it's going on Saturday, October 7th, Downtown Howell. Art, poetry, music, dance. But speaking of poetry, a good friend of the show, local poet, is going to be part of the festivities.
You're reading poems too, John?
No.
Breakdancing?
I think the breakdancing will be enough. I'm sure everyone will agree. That's enough of that.
It would be hard to catch your breath after that, I would think, right, to do your spoken word. So Isabella Mansfield,
Right.
A friend of the show, a friend of ours, local poet, we asked her to curate this poetry segment with her poet friends, and she's bringing in 8 other poets to share their craft and of spoken word, and I'm super excited. You don't often get poetry opportunities here either. So
Nicole, how long has it taken the Diversity Council and the Arts Council to put this together? I mean, this is huge.
I have been saying it's just been an absolute labor of love, right? I mean, it's super exciting.
So 9 months.
Yeah, pretty much.
Labor.
I mean, really, we started the conversation back in January, so I think you're about right.
Yeah.
And we started really planning in February. It wasn't until May that we could decide on a name, right? Anything with the first event is always hard, but yeah, about the last 8-9 months. But I think everybody will be pretty impressed with what they're going to see tomorrow.
It's going to be a great day of entertainment, fun, and great food too. So
absolutely, you can't go wrong with any of those things.
Not really at all. So again, Cultura, Downtown Howell, noon to 11 p.m.
You got it.
Culturacelebration.com for more information.
Indoors and outdoors, there's heat under the tent, so
Yes.
be sure to stop by. Should be a lot of fun.
Awesome. Thank you guys so
All right,
much.
thank you. Appreciate it. Nicole Matthews-Creech with the Livingston County Diversity Council.
A great day and evening of entertainment, of course, brought to you by our friends, speaking of entertainment, the Dial.
Yes.
The Dial.
Are you gonna
where you
speak
can
of the
see
Dial?
a play and get dinner at the same time. They always have great shows, off-Broadway shows. Steve DeBrune, a friend of the show, big part of all those. And what's showing this week, John?
Actually, I don't think there's anything there at this moment, but they just did announce their new lineup for the coming season. So, and it's quite a interesting lineup that's coming up. There's going to be some classics like A Raisin in the Sun is one of the ones that's coming up. There's a play called Alice by Heart. With music by Duncan Sheik. Remember him? 90s
early
musician.
2000s, late 90s.
Kind of late 90s, early 2000s. There's a musical, I believe, it's called Souvenir, a Fantasia on the life of Florence Foster Jenkins. That's coming up. They'll have a Christmas-themed event called Miracle on 34th Street. Perhaps you've heard of that.
No.
I think you probably have.
Duncan Sheik. It was Barely Breathing was the big hit from him. For those that were saying, I know I've heard the name before, it's been a while, but yeah, Duncan Sheik, Barely Breathing. That's a good tune. Grammy-nominated tune.
And then, this is what I'm really looking forward to myself. It's a very new musical, they're calling it. It's called Something Rotten. And that's coming up August 30th to October 6th. So again, a full lineup of shows at the Dio, and of course, we appreciate all the great support that Steve and Matt there at the Dio have provided for the community. And of course, if you want to know more, you can go to diotheater.com, and it's fancy theater because it's RE, diotheater.com.
All right, time for the Less You Know. Rich Perlberg joining us.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about Miggy, I believe.
You don't know how to-
And you said Swan
don't know how to
song.
work a button
I wasn't really sure which one I was supposed to press. I didn't want to blow up the little machine there.
That's okay.
Hey, Mike and John.
Hey,
Is this Rich?
what's going on back
A
there?
batter, Perlberg?
This is better. I like that. I like the chatter. Hey, short, move around. You're killing the grass.
He's a pull hitter. Rich Perlberg up to the plate.
You know what they used to talk about? Good field, no hit. I was no hit and couldn't field.
Right field. Right field Perlberg.
Right field. Oh my God, I owned right field. Even we'd play pickup ball at the old football field and didn't have enough guys, so right field was out.
Yeah.
I still played right field.
Okay, somebody hit that automatic out.
Yeah.
Oh no, we're going to put you in extra right field, and you're like, wait a minute, that's out of bounds. No, it's a position.
So my God, you guys got a good show today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, we're good. We got a good show.
Well, absolutely, we have a good show.
Well, don't bring it down,
Yeah,
Rich.
I mean, you've got a lot.
Yeah, you know what? You're pushing the odds here a little bit. I did want to give a shout out to Janet Mindler, though. It was nice to hear you guys reference her. She was quite the lady.
I
and,
forgot that you probably knew Janet. She was great.
Well, we actually gave her office space for years. We ran the foundation because it was way too long for her to drive from Hamburg to Lansing, where the press offices were.
Right.
She was only part-time, and we didn't pay her beans, and she worked 40 hours on a 20-hour gig. So, but she knows journalists, or she knew journalists all around the country who came through the scholarship program.
Yeah, she was a lot of fun, and I miss her. It was great being in her journalism class. But anyway, let's talk about Swan Song and Miggy. Were you a part of it?
Oh
Were you
my
there?
God! No. It's tough to be a Tigers fan right now, even though you gotta love baseball. But it's
Hey, we finished in second place.
second place. Yes, let's go for that.
13 games
And 10th out of 15 in the American League. So again, if you pick the worst division, you can do relatively well.
You know, you half
What a
empty
downer, huh?
guys. You know.
But here's the thing. You know, I've used this line. I think you probably got tired of it. That the Tigers are now going into the 8th year of a 5-year rebuilding plan.
Yeah.
But here's the fact. If you look at the playoffs, which are really extended, they take forever. But there's 12 teams make the playoffs. 4 of those teams have stunk worse than the Tigers more recently than the Tigers' tailspin. I didn't say that really well, but the Rangers, the Orioles, the Miami team, and Arizona, they've all lost 100 games or more within the last 2 or 3 years. And they're in the playoffs. And the Tigers are plodding along. Yeah, we won 78 this year.
Yeah.
When they won 77 2 years ago, so don't get too excited.
No.
Just because they don't have any players, and I think what you're alluding to when you say the Miggy Swan song, and no doubt Miggy had an incredible career.
Yeah.
But not the last 7. I mean, he had 60 home runs his last 7 years. He was old. He was injured. He did his best, but the Tigers were stuck with this incredible salary that just bled them dry.
So let's go back to when that contract got signed,
And
because
that was
back.
that 08? Something
No.
He had, and again, forgive me,
Oh, that
but
was
I've had some time because we haven't talked for a while. I did some research, but it was around 2014, and they still had 2 years left on his contract, and they gave him an 8-year extension.
Right. And
For like $240 million. Okay,
to be fair, he was coming off the Triple Crown.
Right.
Well, he was, but they still had him for 2 more years, John.
Right.
I mean, I realize it's easy for me, 2020 hindsight, but this guy already in his 30s, he's a great hitter, but he's never been a fit athlete, okay? And big guys who are sluggers tend to decline as they get older.
Now, wait a minute, Rich. I have to interject here because I watched Saturday's game and I saw him tag up on second on a fly to the outfield, and he made it to third. It was not pretty, but still.
Was it the same day? No. I mean, the guy's a good baseball mind. He does,
that's funny.
but he and look, he played third base for a long time. It's not that he's without skills. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But they did sign him. They had him for 2 more years coming off that great year. So even if they hadn't have given him a contract where it says you're got no cuts till you're 40 years old, and who thought he would make it till 40 playing at that level? Nobody. So here's what they lost during all that time: Justin Verlander, J.D. Martinez, Nick Castellanos, Max Scherzer, who, by the way, are all playing on playoff teams this year, still playing in the big leagues, just not for the Tigers.
So I guess that's why I wanted to kind of rewind to that moment, in that the Tigers, I guess, they had a choice. Do you keep the big guy, the big name, the big gun who just did a Triple Crown, or do you make a choice to say, you know what, let's keep these core players, especially Verlander and Scherzer. We have to find a way to keep them.
Well, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing I would say, and again, it's 2020 hindsight. But they didn't face that choice at the time. They still had him for 2 more years. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like, if we don't give him the extension, he's going to leave. You go for 2 years, and then you decide, maybe we'll offer you another contract, or he becomes a free agent. But by then, he'd started to decline. They would have known that he was on his down.
Right.
Now, that was just luck. But they lost. They offered Scherzer a ton of money, and he wanted $20 million more. And they said, no, we're not going that far. And guess what? Scherzer leaves. And then they start dissolving the club. They get rid of Martinez. They get rid of... they also gave a lot of money to Prince Fielder, who...
Yeah.
Well, remember his prowess on the base paths.
His what?
His prowess on the base paths.
He could eat a nacho from a fan while he's playing first base.
Carlos Guillen and Victor Martinez and Prince Fielder, and those, they were not the fastest team in baseball.
Well, look, it's still one of the more popular memes on social media is Prince Fielder doing the belly flop back to third and getting tagged out.
That was a playoff game.
Yeah, it was not pretty at all.
They traded Prince to Texas, and they paid him so much that they still had to pay. Part of the deal is they had to pay part of his salary.
I think that's more of a financial errors on the Tigers' part from the front office, So
and it happens. But the other thing that it points out is how poorly the Tiger organization has been run in the past. Not only did they get rid of all these guys, they had nothing coming up. They had one of the league's worst farm systems. So, and I think that's what's indicative of these other teams that also played poorly, but had the structure to come back. Baltimore lost 100 games 2 years ago. They were the best team in the East this year.
Yeah.
So they had some structure that the Tigers haven't had, and I think that's what hurts them as much as anything. Any team, you go to any team, you can find players that they let go who ended up doing well with their new team.
So
sometimes that's a makeup of the team and the drive of the team too, the inspiration.
There's also J.D. Martinez, who's got over 300 career home runs. The Astros let him go to the Tigers, and he had some great years with the Tigers. So everybody gives up a player who's good now and then. Yeah. But the thing is that Detroit is just, for whatever reason, they tried to go for the present. They spent tons of money on the current, and whatever. They came close but didn't win the World Series, and then they had nothing left in reserve, and we've suffered. We Tiger fans.
So what is the fix? I mean, is it just cash? Like, is it just like the only way to fix this team now is to just open up the checkbook?
It's not only cash because look what the Mets did. They spent a lot of cash and they ended up in last place. I think they're probably doing it right. The question is, do you have good people in the front office, and do you have an owner who's going to let people make the right decisions? They have drafted well. Torkelson, Riley Green. They've got a lot of good young arms. They just keep getting hurt, which is worrisome. Then when you get close, you might have to open up the checkbook and fill a gap. You fill the position with it. But you've got to have some structure. I mean, I can't even tell you who plays for Arizona or Baltimore, but they're in the playoffs and the Tigers aren't. So that the proof's in the pudding, and they've got a new general manager now, and we'll
Don't
see
they
how
have
it goes.
co-general managers? These two guys are going to work together?
I had no idea.
Is that the
They
deal?
spent the whole year with, I forget what they call him, and then they just announced a new general manager.
Well, don't forget, Miggy's going to be the executive assistant to the general manager.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's
he's
really
got to find a way to make ends meet.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor Miggy.
That post-career.
Poor Miggy, yeah.
Hey, you guys want totally changing the topic, but I'm kind of interested in this health advisory committee. I think I'm going to apply for it if it's.
Oh, yeah, okay. Do you have any health experience in terms of
I have
science?
none whatsoever.
Oh, you're hired. You're going to be the chairman then.
I do. I have stayed at a Holiday Inn Express, and I have worked extensively with bleach. So I do have,
There you go.
Excellent. You know not to mix bleach and ammonia. All right, you've got that.
let me write that one down.
Yeah, you got to write that down. And the only reason I know
how many M's of ammonia?
So,
All right. Well, once again, the less we know, and we were having a good show.
we were.
Is this toward the end? Can you cut it? Because I think the momentum kind of died.
No, that's good. No, it's interesting, and I guess we'll have to see what happens with the Tigers in the meanwhile. Go Lions, which is
doing all right.
makes sense this time.
There you go.
So,
All right, Rich. Have
Thanks,
a great
Rich.
week, buddy. We'll
Have
talk
a great
to you
weekend,
soon.
you guys.
All right.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right.
All right, I want to thank the folks at Murphy's Family Auto, of course, big supporters of the podcast. You can turn to Murphy's Family Auto for all your auto repair and vehicle maintenance needs. Since 2011, they have been specializing in car and truck care, including engine and transmission work, electrical services, heating and cooling, and brakes. Call Murphy's Family Auto, 517-552-3040. They're open Saturdays, 8 to 1. You tell Mike and John sent you save 5% off your bill. It's Murphy's Family Auto, your car knows.
2 days ago, you were using your AC. You want to make sure the heat's working these days. JD joining us from Traverse City for JD's Tossback Trivia.
Mike and John, what's going on?
Well, we are. It's in our name.
Yeah. We just had someone tell us we were having a great show. So
don't blow it, Jeff.
don't blow it, man.
I will do my best not to.
All right. What's our topic?
Well, we are at summer's end, and I think the days of the blockbuster movie seem to be dwindling. So what we had this summer, we had Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Top
Indiana
Gun was early.
Jones.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones, Dial of Destiny was a dud.
Yeah, that flopped.
But
I guess
we're
I'll
going to
wait
talk
for it to
about
come on cable.
the original one, which is Raiders of the Lost Ark. One of the highest grossing films of all time. So Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's what we're going to chat about.
All right.
Gotcha.
Bring it on.
So Raiders did not do well in pre-screening. This is 1981. What film was believed to be the blockbuster of the year? Was it the Bond movie, For Your Eyes Only, Superman 2, On Golden Pond, or Cannonball Run?
Ooh.
You want to go first?
Yeah.
You thinking Cannonball Run?
I was going to say Superman 2, but then you said Cannonball Run.
Wow. Lonnie Anderson, Burt Reynolds.
But I'm going to stick with Superman 2. I think Superman was such a big movie that when the second one was coming out, I think they had anticipated huge hit.
I'm going to go On Golden Pond and Suckface.
It was Superman 2.
All right.
So looked forward to. That was going to be the one. Okay. All right. John's got it.
Yes, I do.
Indiana Jones.
I just got rid of it.
Hones his fighting and survival skills in both World Wars. In World War II, he was a colonel in the U.S. Army. In World War I, he was a captain in which army?
Who is this?
Indiana Jones.
Oh, okay.
Was he in the U.S. Army, the British Special Forces, the Belgian Army, or the French Army? Who did he fight with in World War I?
Wow.
U.S., British, Belgian, French.
Yeah, I think you're trying to trick us. I think he fought in the U.S. Army.
I think so. You think it's a trick question?
Yeah.
I'm going to go Belgium. Having had breakfast, waffle sounds good right now.
I fancy the days of Grandpa Dehanens in the Belgian army with Indiana Jones.
There you go.
Africa.
Wow.
Look at that. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yep. He was in the Belgian army, supposedly.
Well, yeah.
All right. A native of Princeton, New Jersey. What college does Professor Jones actually teach at?
Oh, he crawled out
Did
the
he
window.
teach it? Yeah. Did he teach at Princeton, Marshall College, Fordham, or Faber?
Nice try on the Faber.
Yeah, like that. Little toss to the
little Animal House there.
All right, so we ruled that out.
Stupid. No way to go through life.
That would have been kind of a cool crossover if
If
they would
John
have.
Belushi had walked into his office.
Yeah, John Belushi and the Temple of Doom. I mean,
Maybe he had a white horse in there.
right.
Who put a full pack of fizzies? All right, let's get back to the question. All right, so what do we got left? Fordham, Princeton, and
Marshall, Fordham, Faber.
You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
You can go first.
I think it was Fordham.
I was going to say Fordham as well.
Okay.
It was the absolutely fictionally made up Marshall College.
Oh,
Oh, wait a minute. We are Marshall. There was a
it's
college.
Marshall University.
Oh, fine. University
Yes,
College. Same kind of.
Marshall College funds all his research and all his stuff that he does, and it's made up from like Robert Marshall, one of the writers.
I'll name a college after me.
That's why you're the writer. All right.
So we're very familiar with the with Raiders of the Lost Ark. We've got the Nazis and all that happy stuff. What year does the movie actually take place? Is it 1936, 38, 41, or 43?
I think it's 1936.
That's not a fair question because he's the history buff.
Well, it's a movie. I mean,
But still,
Because we were always searching for the Ark of the Covenant.
Right. But yeah, that's my guess.
Did you say 38 was in there? I think it was-
36, 38, 41, 43.
Let's go 38.
It was 1936.
Look at you.
Wow, John just crushed it.
Yeah, I
She
did. Yeah.
Crushed it 2-1.
By one.
Hey, I'll take what I can get.
Awesome.
All right, so John wins this week for JD's Tossback Trivia from Traverse City.
From the Grand Traverse Resort.
Yeah.
Beautiful, John.
What are you doing up there?
This is the Michigan Association of Planners Conference.
I think you're making this too many uhs in there.
Planners,
the Planners
something.
Association.
MAP. And I'm like, Michigan Association. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is tons of city and county and municipal worker folks that are all together about planning communities.
All right.
How do you get it done?
Well, get her done, and you did get her done. Thanks, JD.
Thanks,
Appreciate
JD.
it.
Cool. You got it.
Thanks.
Thanks,
All
guys.
right, it's Mike and John got it going on. By the way, I want to thank everybody that came out to Downtown Howell last weekend for the Walk to End Alzheimer's. We had a great crowd, great support, great fundraising, but that does go on until the end of the year. So the monies that were raised, I think we were like 71% of the goal here in Livingston County.
Right.
So there's still a chance to hit that goal by the end of the year. And we still have a few of our Mike and John Got It Going On, Team Got It Going On shirts
We do.
available. So what we thought we'd do is if you're interested in making a pledge for the Walk to End Alzheimer's, we have large and extra large left, I believe.
Right.
And you'll get the shirt for the donation, and we appreciated those that donated right at the booth with us too. We picked up a few extra $100.
Yeah.
Just while we were at the booth on Saturday.
Our Team Gigo is about 77%.
Oh, look at you
towards
doing
their
that.
goal.
I think you made that up.
No, it's just the math is easy because.
Okay, got it. Round numbers.
But yes, if you go to MikeandJohnPodcast.com.
That's Mike and John Podcast.
Hey, that's our website.
It is.
Yeah, you'll see a link about Mike and John walk with Mike and John to end Alzheimer's. Now, of course, the walk itself, as Mike said, is over. That was last week, but the fundraising continues. If you click that link, that will take you to the Team Got It Going On page, and you can donate right there through the page, or just contact us. You can email us, Mike and John for the win at gmail.com, and we'll make arrangements for you. But either way, we will make sure you get a Mike and John walk shirt, and we'll be taking donations through the end of the year.
All right, sounds good. And by the way, I did make it through the walk, despite a bee sting. Made it through.
Oh my God, are you okay?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm so glad.
Little stinger in the neck there. And I didn't scream or anything, just so you guys know. All right, our 2-cent history lesson for this week, the first week of October. In 1905, Orville Wright became the first person to fly an airplane for 33 minutes. They thought that was a long flight.
Well, yeah.
33 minutes at the time.
Well, try a 7.5 hour flight.
A little different?
Yeah.
1961 this week, the pre-moistened hand towel
I beg your
was
pardon?
introduced. Those little things, the little handy wipes?
Yeah.
The ones that came in the little packets?
Not the
and they were all
thing
full.
that was in the gas station bathroom that you pulled down.
No, these are
Yeah.
pre-moistened handy wipes.
Okay.
Mom would have them just in case, you
Right.
got SpaghettiOs on your face.
Well, that was always... I remember
sometimes the rib joints would have
I was
them.
going to say, or KFC. If you, you'd always have those. Yeah,
I was either that or your pants. Most of us chose our pants.
Our tough skins.
It just toughens up the tough skins. Having those greasy finger marks on your
and
pants.
Nothing will lead you to Team Rewind faster than a lot of KFC.
Or dogs in the street starting to follow you because you smell like chicken. 1974, David Kunst completed the first journey around the world on foot. Took 4 years, 4 years.
That's pretty fast.
And 21 pairs of shoes.
Wow.
He crossed 4 continents and walked 14,450 miles.
So, how did he get across like the Atlantic Ocean?
I think they had him on like an airline carrier,
He just
and he just kept walking back and forth while it
flew.
I'm not sure.
Just
but
curious.
He's
but
got
still.
the credit, and
Okay.
it's on his day, and we remember this. 1980, or this week, 1980. Queen started a 3-week run at number 1. Bump, bump, bump. Dexter rides the bus. Wasn't it Dexter Bussey? Yeah. And then that's when the Lions started off real strong.
Kind of like this season.
4-0 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then
So I think the Lions are not putting out any singles.
no,
I think they've learned their
that's
lesson.
like a thing of the past.
Yeah.
All right, 2010, Kevin Systrom and Mike Krieger launched Instagram for you kiddos.
Yeah, Rob Smith talking about how he learned about Team Rewind on Instagram.
A year and a half later, Kevin and Mike sold it to Facebook for $1 billion. Probably a nice move for them.
We really went into the wrong line of work. You launch this app.
Mm-hmm. People take off on
your
it.
pictures and post them. Okay,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Yep.
And then a year and a half later, you walk away with $1 billion.
billionaire.
Yeah, not too shabby.
And finally, this week in 2011, Starships We Built This City was named the worst song of the 1980s by a poll taken in Rolling Stone magazine.
Yeah.
I beg to differ.
Really? What's your worst song?
Putting on the Ritz.
Oh, Taco.
I mean, We Built This City was irritating and an earworm.
Yeah.
But was it really the worst of the whole decade of the 80s?
I will concur with you that the Putting on the Ritz was worse. I would even argue, if you remember, New Shoes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I can't wait.
I can't wait, yes.
Yeah,
I can't wait for this song to please stop playing.
You really don't hear that on those
No.
classic stations anymore. Then I
You-
can't wait.
You don't.
But you will hear We Built This City.
Right. No one listens to the radio anymore.
That's your 2-cent history lesson for this week in October.
Yes.
All right.
We've had quite a show.
Do we want to get the final word?
If you think we can. I mean, it's been several weeks.
I text the great Bonnie.
Oh, is she? Okay, I'm good. I'm glad to hear that.
I let her know yesterday we were doing a show, so I said be ready, and we'll see. On the edge of her seat. Look at this. It's right at the end of the show, too, so it really will be the last word
Right.
with Bonnie Runyon.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing, Bonnie?
I'm always doing fabulous. You know that.
Yes, we do.
Where are you?
Did you have what makes you think I'm not home?
Well, I'm hearing some noises in the background.
Yeah.
So is that like a cuckoo clock or something? Or?
No.
No.
Those
are kids.
Those are kids.
Yeah.
I sent you pictures,
Oh.
hoping that you would figure out that I ain't Michigan.
Oh.
It has a palm tree in it.
Where are you at?
Florida.
You're in Florida?
Well, that's not in Michigan.
Yeah.
You would have definitely stumped us.
Well, when you have time to look on your phone, you'll see palm trees.
Okay.
Ah, okay. I thought, well, maybe someplace in Michigan has palm trees.
I guess.
All right, yep. You know what? Just judging by the pictures, I don't know if I can tell that's a palm tree. It looks like a regular tree in the background. There's an awning or a shelter that you were by. All right.
Well, okay, that is a shelter because this.
Oh, that one has palm trees. Okay.
I am enjoying. My niece homeschools her children, and this is a homeschool group of families that get together every Saturday morning at a park.
All right. They know it's Friday, right?
Oh, it must be Friday.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
That's okay.
That's okay.
Oh, no, okay,
That's
me
all right.
bad. Me bad.
All
Okay, guys. First of all, it's glad to have you back on the podcast.
Well, we're glad that we
Yeah.
were able to connect. But was there a final word, by the way? Or
I don't know.
There is.
Okay.
Believe.
Believe.
And it's as important that you believe in yourself as it is to believe in Jesus.
All right. That's the final word from the great Bonnie Runyon. We'll talk to you soon, Bonnie. Have a great time in Florida.
You be blessed.
All right.
All
You
right.
as well.
Thanks,
you.
Bonnie.
And all right.
Bye-bye. Love you guys.
Love you as well.
See you
All right,
later.
So this is brought us to the end of the show.
Yes.
But there's a couple of stories that have broken that I think we need to highlight real quick before we leave.
Really? Breaking news.
I believe the ugly naked guy in downtown Brighton, since they had all that construction, I think he's going back to the Mill Pond.
To the Mill Pond Park.
Yeah. So he's not gone.
No.
Ugly naked guy.
No, which is technically called decision pending is the name of that statute.
Yeah. But we all know him as ugly naked guy, don't we?
That's really what everyone's called him.
And there's a new breakthrough for the first time in probably decades.
Really?
In toilet paper. Oh. Charmin.
I don't want toilet paper to break through. That's really why I don't. Yeah.
Charmin has a bold new design they are launching with their toilet paper. From now on, the ultra soft rolls of Charmin will have a new scalloped perforation line where you tear. So when it's hanging down on the outside, when you put the toilet paper on the roll, that little first piece,
Right.
when you tear it, it's going to have that little kind of
So it's like a wavy line.
wavy line. So the first
Why is
time,
that better?
That's
going to make the rip harder.
They say it'll be easier. There's only one way to find out. The company's new smooth tear has been in the works for more than 5 years. They're calling it an innovation that toilet paper has never seen before.
Oh, wow.
And you heard it here.
This is a great
on
day.
this podcast.
Wow. Scallop toilet paper
perforation. That's a TPP, the toilet paper perforation.
Okay.
Which will make your life much better.
Yes, it will.
But it's only with the ultra stuff, so you got to pay top dollar for it.
Well, yeah, of course, naturally.
Not the gas station stuff. That's
All
really.
right, I guess I won't use these paper towels anymore.
All right, that's going to do it for today, right? We're done?
I think we're way done.
Yes.
So, all right, we'll be back next week. And, of course, you can always check out news on our website, MikeandJohnPodcast.com, or check us out on Facebook. Mike and John got it going on.
The most reliable news in Livingston County.
Where'd that come from?
I don't know, voice from above.
Giggling with Mike and John. Tune in next time and giggle on.